Hey, what's up, guys? Tuki here, back again with another episode of A Nation United Canada edition, right here on FIFA 19. Today, we begin our second season in the Bundesliga with Kaiserslautern. Of course, last year, we started off on such a high note, only to eventually fall back towards a mid-table finish. But all in all, a very successful first season for us in the Bundesliga. Again, the goal was to finish mid-table. Apparently, we didn't technically hit that, which I think is... actually, that's our goal for this season. I thought I hit over twice. I was going to say, yeah, we achieved our goal of not getting relegated last season. I was going to say, I thought that was the goal. Our internal goal, my self-appointed goal, was to finish mid-table. Eventually, it became, hey, let's get a Europa League spot, and we ended up falling short of that. But it was a very successful first season for us in the Bundesliga. Of course, getting Alphonso Davies was huge for us. Now, this year, I'm intrigued to see what we can do. I mean, the last episode was capped off really by the disappointing news that we didn't make the FIFA World Cup, which sucks because obviously that's one of the goals for this series. At a club level, the goal, of course, is to eventually win the Bundesliga, but then also find success in Europe with the Champions League. And at the international level, the goal is simple: win the World Cup. So we haven't obviously hit either of our goals yet, but in due time. I still think we're on a pretty good pace. Now, as it stands at the World Cup, here's an update. Of course, we'll keep an eye on this throughout. France and Denmark made it through their group. Group A, Group B, Belgium and Mexico went through. Germany and Paraguay in Group C. Group D, Argentina, Poland, Portugal and the Ivory Coast, Spain and Slovenia, so a huge loss for the US and Egypt. We could have done better than that. South Africa and England, a horrible showing from Wales. Brazil and the Netherlands made it through Group H, which means that brings us to the round of 16, where France beat Mexico, Germany beat Poland, Portugal beat Slovenia, and the Netherlands beat South Africa on penalties. We have still yet to see what will happen in the other four matchups. So we'll continue to follow along with the World Cup as we move forward throughout the episode. Now, in terms of what we're looking at with the team here, of course, we have seen some changes recently. Again, there's not much we can do in terms of bringing in help from the outside. Lucas Cavallini is the top player that we don't have right now. If we wanted to, we could hit his release clause, and to be honest, we might. I think a two-striker set of Larin and David with Cavallini there as well would be good. Having Larin, Cavallini, and then David at cam would also be pretty effective. So we have quite a few moves that could be made. And obviously in the past, it's not going to show the transfers, but obviously we've had some moves go through. Someone like Boosty has been sold. I don't know if they're in the message archive either, but you would have seen it, of course, if you've followed along. So that's pretty much the goal for the episode, is to get this team established, of course, get to deadline day, and take it from there as far as how we're going to be looking to build the team. But like I mentioned, once we had acquired the Larins, the Davids, the Alphonso Davies of the world, the rest of the talent just really isn't up to snuff. The rest of the talent will be coming from the youth academy. And of course, we've already had guys on the team like Jordan Hamilton. He's not going to help us out that much right now. And a lot of these other guys just really aren't at the level that you would prefer. So, and of course, we ended up just selling Jonathan Osorio because we have other people in mind. So, that is the task at hand. I think the first thing that we're going to do here is re-sign players that we have to re-sign, because we do have money in the transfer budget thanks to a decent bit of success last year. So we're going to go to the squad hub, take a look at who needs to be re-signed, and then take it from there. So goalkeeping-wise, I mean, the man this season, the man moving forward, is Justin Cooper, no doubt about it. Now, Cohen Wilson, if I'm not mistaken, will be rejoining the team in this window. If not, we will be trading up Joseph Gagnon in the meantime as a backup option. Listed as exciting, so again, all the potential in the world for him. Well, not all the potential in the world. Again, it goes something special, exciting, and then great in terms of the chart. So, I mean, having players that are, if in NHL terms, view it as high top 6, high top 4 in terms of forward and defensive potentials, high starter for a goalie. In terms of having that, we're not too bad. We're not going to have an elite level guy, but to to have an exciting prospect, Canadian prospect as well, given our limited player pool, we're looking pretty good. So as far as Joseph Gagnon's concerned, we're going to block offers for him for now until we see what happens with Cohen Wilson. Justin Cooper will not be going anywhere. Right back, Walter Mathis is still the main guy for us. We'll see what happens with Nathan Mathis, currently out on loan in Belgium. Wayne Park, of course, also out on loan. So in terms of center backs, right now the 4 we have are the 4 that will stay. Adam Streith still here as a backup option. Tyler Wolff still here. Ethan Wolff, who's our main man, and Mandrakar James, who needs a new contract. But again, we'll take care of those in a minute. Left back, Colin Gautier's deal is up. Although he will be the backup left back for this season, we're still going to be trying to loan out Walter Park. And of course, Peter Gagnon, still the guy there. Still has the potential to be special, only 20 years old. We did get the addition of Samuel Piette, who we signed on a free transfer, which is huge. Some doubts over whether or not K is the guy for us, but I think the 1-2 punch of Piette and K will be something special for us, or at least I hope to see some of the other players. We have a lot of players out on loan right now, and it's a good thing that they fixed the way the loan system works. But if I'm not mistaken, I already went through this either off video or at the end of the last video. Actually, the end of the last video was oh yeah, we didn't make the World Cup, so the episode's over. It's pretty much how that went. So let's go ahead and handle the contracts here. We have quite a few. Cohen Wilson is the main one that we have to worry about, but we can't negotiate until he's back from loan. Justin Cunningham, he's actually not the main one, in fairness, he's just one of them. Justin Cunningham, we are going to look to bring back. I think, oh God, do I want to delegate? I'll just delegate. It'll be fine. I'm not too worried about saving money here and there because, again, we're at the point where it doesn't matter. As long as we have money to re-sign people, we're fine. So, I mean, again, I was worried about money early on, but we already have Alphonso Davies and the other big options. So let's, God damn, if he wants that much, let's start it at 7.5 and go up to 31. The offer was too low at 7.5, huh? All right, well, we'll renegotiate with him later. Victor Olsen's going to want a hell of a lot more than 7.5. We'll go ahead and drop that down to 10. Let's see where we can get him. Oh, no release clause, buddy. No release clause. We'll just have to negotiate this ourselves, won't we? Which is fine. Again, delegating at least saves time. In terms of saving money, not that big of a deal. It's just as long as there's not a player getting a release clause, we're fine. So Olsen wants an important squad role. That is not going to happen, especially if we bring in Cavallini, which I might. If we can loan out Olsen, I think we bring in Cavallini to help. Again, that $18 million release clause is not going to happen. So name your price, sir. But yeah, that ain't happening. Oh, God. What do you think about 15 to start? And you can get a nice 10K signing bonus. How do you feel about that? Probably not great. Nope, okay, he likes it. That's fine. Sure. Fine by me. Here's 10 grand. Thanks for signing. Which is nothing, but I'll take it. Cunningham, I won't be able to negotiate with him right now. No. Adam Streith, we're going to let go, of course. It's fine. He was signed on a free as a depth option. Mark Anthony Kay, of course, we will be wanting to keep. And at this point, again, we'll delegate if the release clause comes up. We'll handle it ourselves. And I guess the release clause is going to keep popping up, which is fine. But when it's for players that I don't really plan on getting rid of, not so good. So we're going to have to negotiate with Kay. Important squad role. It's fine by me. We'll try to get him on a 5-year deal. He'll probably counter for 3. We'll counter for 4. 2! Even less than I would have thought. Let's get him on a 3. Which is fine by me. Name your price, please. No release clause. And in terms of the price, how would you like 15K and 10 grand? How does that sound? Don't walk away pissed off. Don't walk away. Yep. I knew that was going to happen. That's my least favorite part about negotiating, is I hate having to be the one to be like, so here's what I'm offering. I'd rather just have them say, yeah, here's what we want. And it never happens. Walter Park. I mean, let's just go ahead and start that at $1 grand. Too low. All right, well, shit. People are wanting to get paid. I don't want to pay them, as it turns out. We'll get Colin Gauthier under another deal, a new deal, a better deal. 5 years, in fact. So that worked out pretty well. Oh my God, what is this game doing right now? Mandrakar James, this is going to be a somewhat slightly expensive negotiation, isn't it? He accepted 26 for 2 years. I'm good with that. Might have been a slight overpayment. Scott Arfield, if he walks away for free at the end of the year, I'm fine with that. Again, we'll have to renegotiate with Kay and Cunningham. So we'll handle those in a little bit. For now, let me double check actually how much money we have. All the money in the world, actually. So we might as well go and get Cavallini. There's no reason not to strengthen the team in this way. So it's a 15K release clause, and we will be able to negotiate with the player directly, which is fine by me. So like I said, I think a 2-striker set, having Cavallini and Larin up top, not necessarily running Jonathan David at cam, that's not necessarily a bad way to go. We'll see if important works for him. Might have to counter with crucial. No, that's perfect. Sweet. We'll try to go 5 years. He's 29, so I don't think he'll accept it. 3-year deal. We'll counter for 4. Which is perfect. No release clause, of course. Unless he asked for one, and he didn't. And perfect. He named his price. Perfect type of negotiations. He named his price. So we have added Lucas Cavallini for pretty much nothing. We still have $12 million in bucks, and it came out $12 million. We have $12 million to work with. But again, no reason to not sign him. He was the last big name out there. The rest of the talent, of course, will be coming from the Youth Academy. So, shockingly, I don't know, maybe it's just because we are obviously much further ahead of schedule than I thought we'd be. We already have all the top talents that we could have possibly aimed for at the start of this series, to the point where I didn't even need Cavallini, but it's like, screw it, let's get him. We get a transfer offer for Justin Cunningham. I'm not really looking to sell him outright. I'll loan him out, but in terms of outright selling him, that's not going to happen. So in terms of training, now it still technically says we have people out on international duty, which we don't, obviously, because we didn't make the World Cup. We were supposed to, but the way the World Cup works in this game, it's frustrating. I mean, obviously, we didn't have any tournaments that we were involved in, so kind of a pain in the ass there. I can't train up Mathis. We do need a backup right back, desperately. And, of course, we have the one Wolf. Training up Tyler Wolf wouldn't be the worst idea. And then in terms of the midfield, I mean, we have Piet and we have Kay. So I'm just trying to think of who the best option to train up here is going to be. Even Cavallini right now out on international duty, but I do love the depth we have at striker. Training up Mathis as a left mid might not be the worst idea in the world, but I really do want to focus on the defense. So we're going to train up Tyler Wolf, because I think it's going to be Wolf and Wolf at center back here once Mandrakar James is ready to go. So I'm sure there's a creative name that I am not creative enough to come up with to give to the two brothers there. Let me know what you think. But as far as the other training option, oh boy, I don't know. Again, we desperately need a backup right back at this point. Maybe trying to bring back someone like Godinho wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. And, I mean, Williams, White. Williams isn't looking too bad. Is there anybody that we can just train up really quickly to get to the next overall? Not really. Not really. Cool. Russell Williams. Screw it. Because we know Russell Williams is going to be amazing. He is one of the best products that we've seen from the Youth Academy already in this series. But in knowing that we need potentially a backup right back, I mean, obviously it would be, hey, short-term deal, and then they need to go again at some point. Oh my god. So on the wrong one that entire time. Obviously knowing that, you know, some people aren't going to be happy as the backup option kind of sucks, but if we could bring back Godinho, or for the first time bring in Brault Gallard, if I'm not mistaken in terms of pronunciation, that wouldn't be too bad. I don't think we'll be allowed to bring Godinho back, but maybe even Juan Cordova, all 5'5" of them, would be a secondary option, of course, behind Mathis. So we'll continue to move forward. Again, let's just get to the end of the goal is to get to the end of the transfer window in this episode. Cooper wants Boosty's spot, which obviously is his. He's the guy. I mean, we knew at a certain point that Boosty and Morgan weren't going to be the main two for us. as we get a loan offer for Wayne Mathis, which we will go ahead and accept. And again, Cooper, don't worry. You might be 16, but you are a starting goalkeeper in the Bundesliga out of, I mean, not even necessity. He deserves it. Cunningham, can we negotiate? We still cannot negotiate with Cunningham, which means you probably can't negotiate with Park either. I think it's 2 weeks that you have to wait, so we will continue to hold on. It has only been a week. I wasn't sure if it was a week or two. Figured we might as well check because of the stoppage, but we shall continue onward. We get a loan offer for Wayne Michaels Barnsley. Barnsley with the offer. Go ahead and accept that. Hopefully he'll be out on loan as well. Obviously, the less people we have on the squad, the more people loaned out, the more that we can focus on training the ones that are still left over. Mathis has officially been loaned out, and we'll keep the training on those 3 players for now. Again, getting Gagnon into a decent spot as a second choice keeper, just in case the worst case scenario happens, which it very well could. As we get a loan offer for Jordan Wood, which we will look to take as well. And again, Mathis loaned out. Not too bad. Again, all the big business already done. Just a matter of loaning people out, re-signing some others, and figuring out with 100% certainty what this team is going to be. Who's still going to be here. As Michaels has been loaned out. We also get a loan offer for Jordan White, who is a 70 overall. Nope, not that White. Okay, it's the other White. He's the 59 rated one. Cool. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Let him go. Let him go. That is fine by me. As we almost have another training session going. I almost wonder, I mean, it's tough to say it wasn't a challenge to try and lock down some of these guys. I mean, I guess in a way it wasn't. But, I don't know. I was trying to think. It just kind of sucks that it's like, okay, we have Davies, we have Laren, we have Jonathan David. There are no other big fish targets out there, you know? It kind of sucks. I mean, it's nice that we're already at that point where it's like, okay, now we're focused on winning. But still, we get a loan offer again for Jordan White. Let's see if that goes through. Wood has been loaned out. Have fun, get some playing time, and please improve. As we will get another training session done here. Our players, I think we're going to have to wait until the end of the World Cup for our players to come back. Gagnon up to a 69 rated goalkeeper. Wolf making decent progress. Williams, not so much. I'll probably take Williams out of the training regimen very soon. Maybe focus on some of the more highly touted youth academy players. As Juan Mata goes to Sheffield Wednesday for $8 million. Jesus. White's been loaned out, and we get a loan offer for Russell Williams, which he's good. Like, he's good enough to play on this team now, but he's not going to jump past Piet or Kay just yet. So getting him some, hopefully, first-team time on a pretty good team will help out quite a bit. As we get another loan offer, this one for Kenneth Mathis. We have, I believe, 3 different Mathises on this team at this point. And let's get Williams out of there. I wanted to double-check. As actually our players are back. Sweet. So Justin Cooper will go right back into training just to try and get him up to as high of an overall as we can possibly get him. Although that was a very ineffective training session for him. So let's move on. I'm going to pretty much wait until the next stoppage before we try to renegotiate certain deals. And we'll see what we have. So a couple of loan offers are back. Williams out to Genk. And we'll double check the players that we scouted just to make sure that there's nobody half decent still out there that we are unaware of. I mean, the unfortunate thing is, too, in terms of regens or whatever, those really haven't been a factor thus far. So, in terms of overalls, I mean, we can't get Coutinho, but I can get Baralt Gallard, which, yeah, I'm going to do that. We need a backup right back, and if there isn't anybody available in the youth academy right now, it's worth doing. And in terms of the high-end talents, so someone like Alex Kerr, I think at this point we are just looking for 85s and up. So Alex Kerr is going to go. Sullivan, it's close. Same with Colin Gibbs, but ultimately neither are all that impressive. Evan Bliska is going to be dropped. Kenneth Banks is going to be dropped. Alex Frazier is going to be dropped. Wayne Cooper, it's going to take forever to develop, but he is only 15. Alex Gagnon, we don't know yet. Cohen Mathis, we don't know yet. We do know that Larry White's going to be an absolute monster. And then some of the others we still don't know. So Larry White is the only other guy in the Youth Academy that I'd look to train up right now. And unfortunately, he is another goalkeeper. So let's go ahead and go to the transfer hub and see if we can get this deal done for Zachary Brault-Gillard from Napoli. Of course, we sold Godinho last year. He wasn't too happy, but if we can bring in a short-term solution, find a project right back, we'll be looking good to go by the time, by the time that Brault-Gillard's essentially bitches to get out of the team, much like Godinho did. So, is there anybody that I want to get rid of? I know player swaps are a bit broken, but still, I mean, even keeping Scott Arfield's a good way to go. Fullback-wise, I don't know if I trust Walter Park. Actually, you know what? Walter Park is a backup left back. I mean, we have Gauthier. Park's not going to hit that level. What if I just throw in Walter Park? Which they didn't want to do. So let's just go transfer fee. He's worth 3.9. How would you like a solid $5 million? It's fine by me. I'll overpay a little bit. They're probably going to want more. Yep, that's fine. We can afford to overpay a little bit just to get this deal done. Not going to bother nickel and diming my way because that would just be a waste of time. So let's see if we can get the deal done with him. Again, just have to do whatever I have to do to make sure he doesn't walk away frustrated. We'll see if I can get him to accept rotation. I don't expect him to. Oh shit, he did accept it. That's sweet. That's a damn good start. Can we get a 5-year deal for Mr. Gillard? We'll be able to get a 4-year deal for him. There is no way he sees the full term of that deal. Doesn't want a release clause, which is perfect. Please just give me the offer that you want. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. That way we don't have to end up with a striker having a clean sheet bonus. So we are good to go. Bringing a backup right back that we needed. Bringing another strong striker option. I'm excited to see what this young team can do as our younger players continue to get better. We get another loan offer for Ken Mathis and another loan offer for Alex Cameron, who's up to a 68. We'll see if hopefully both of those two end up leaving. And from there, let's take one more look at the squad hub just to see what we're dealing with. So again, goalkeeper, we're fine. Right back, we have Mathis, who's the guy. Gillard is the backup, which is perfect. Center backs again, James and Wolf, both Wolfs and Streith. Left back, Gagnon and Gauthier, trying to loan out Walter Park. Let's delegate the renewal there. Perfect, 5-year deal for him. We'll sell him at some point. Piet's good to go. We have Clark on the right-hand side. A lot of players loaned out right now. Kay, Wood, Cameron, who has that loan offer from Norwich. So the right-hand side, I think we're going to keep Cunningham. We're going to keep Cunningham. He'll be the one to back up Clark. We just need to re-sign him. Anthony Wilson we loaned out to Lazio. So we need to make sure that we have another option on the left-hand side just in case something goes wrong elsewhere. And again, we have Victor Olsen on the loan list, which is fine. So that left-hand side, I mean, Kenneth Mathis is the only other guy, which, you know what, we'll let him go out on loan. So we'll see if there's an injury. I mean, we should be okay for the most part, I'd like to think. An extra winger wouldn't be too bad, but we're not in a position to be able to bring back someone like Balou Tabla at this point. Of course, he had to go at the time that he went, so let's see if we can get Justin Cunningham. He's going to be a very important player. I'm just going to offer him, whatever the hell he wants to get that deal done. Again, Streith and Arfield can go, and then K is another big one. No release clause, 3-year deal. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So we'll just get those deals done, and we're looking good. I mean, in terms of bringing in players that are better than the ones we have, that's not really possible. The only thing we could do is strengthen the overall team depth, and even then it would have to be with players that wouldn't want to stick around for all that long. We do have a loan deal for Mathis. Again, we will hope that goes through. The Youth Squad monthly report we'll take a look at in a little bit. I'm sure the numbers have changed slightly. But what I do want to do is go to the youth staff. And Lang is setting up as scouting playmakers. At some point this season, we need to find a decent young right back for the, I was going to say from or for the Youth Academy. Either way, it works. So, Cooper not getting all that much progress thus far. I think we might end up taking Gagnon out of training. We'll see. For now, it's not that bad. The good thing is we're really not going to have that many players that are just sitting on the bench doing nothing, or at least sitting in the reserves. And there is Lang with the reports. As Cameron's been loaned out, Mathis is refusing to leave. So scouting report-wise, Jose Gagnon, because, I mean, that's the only name we have, apparently. And Russell Sullivan. We'll sign both of those two. Josh Tremblay will sign because there's a chance of him being a right back. But he's left-footed, which means he'll probably be a right back because of how this works. So we'll go ahead and sign those three for now, at least to the Youth Academy, and then, of course, take a look a little bit later on at how well they're doing. And we got another loan offer for Joseph Wood. Joey, buddy, please, pal o' mine, leave the team. For now, you're not going to play. We need you to leave. For the love of God, leave. We also get a loan offer for Joseph Wood from the Seattle Sounders, which we've loaned out a couple of players to the MLS before. Not surprising, if anything. Realistic to see MLS teams going after young Canadian talent. Another loan offer for Kenneth Mathis. For the love of God, just leave. Just leave. Otherwise, you are someone who's just going to be sitting on the reserves doing nothing. We have nothing for you right now. Nothing at all. Wood's been loaned out. Theo Hernandez went to Crystal Palace. What the hell's going on in the Premier League? Jesus. So let's see. Drill-wise. Striker, we're pretty much set. Not going to focus any training there. Left mid, right mid, we're set. Again, K and Piet, we're fine. I want to get these center backs into a better spot. Ethan Wolf is one that we definitely need to put training time into. And from there, we want to make sure we're getting full training on Cooper. And is there anybody else from the presumed starting 11 that is worth training up with these last two spots? Mandrakar James really isn't worth it. I mean, we can just make Clark and Davies better. Make Justin Cunningham better, just in case. And again, Evan White, someone who I wouldn't mind seeing go out on loan. We could focus on him. If need be, Mathis. Mathis is definitely someone that we want to focus on. And we'll put a decent amount of training into him as our starting right back. So that'll probably be the set of players that we continue to focus on here for the next bit of time. The three weakest links is unfair, but the three weakest links, and I mean, obviously with Cooper, he's a younger goalkeeper. He should improve tremendously throughout this season, I'd like to think, as he gets basically nothing but first team time. I mean, we're going with him in basically every situation that we possibly can. Now, I don't know when the season starts. It might be this upcoming weekend. I don't know who we're playing, but I'm excited to see how well we start off this season. We get another loan offer for Kevin Mathis, or Kenneth Mathis. I don't even want to learn your name because at this point you're pissing me off and I'm just going to outright sell you. We do play on the upcoming weekend, I do believe. We will, if the down button wants to register. Copywritten. My God, the menu lag in EA games this year. I don't know, maybe it's just me who finds it to be ridiculous. But we'll train those two up. We'll double check what happened at the FIFA World Cup that we were not a part of. Yes, I am a little bit salty about that. It would have been nice to make it. But the FIFA World Cup is won by France again. So the round of 16, Belgium beat Denmark, Argentina beat Paraguay, Spain crushed the Ivory Coast, and Brazil beat England in the quarterfinals. France beat Germany, Portugal beat the Netherlands, Belgium beat Argentina, and Spain beat Brazil. France crushed Portugal to make it to the final. Spain snuck past Belgium. Portugal wins third place on penalties over Belgium, and then again, France beat Spain in the final. So back-to-back World Cups for the French. Will the Canadians be able to upset them in 2026? Here's hoping, as we will be starting the new campaign this Saturday against Werder Bremen, and we'll see what the team looks like. First and foremost, there will likely be a formation change to factor in the 2 strikers, as we will also be able to take a look at the Canadian national team. So that's honestly a quick way to be able to look at who's available to us, is just looking at the players available there. But let's take a look here. We know more than likely that we want 2 strikers, but I'm not sure exactly how we're going to do this because we have K and Piet. So a 2-striker set doesn't necessarily work for us. Like, either a striker's going to have to suffer and ride the bench, or a midfielder's going to have to suffer and ride the bench. And from the looks of it, it's going to be K or Piet that end up alternating. So to take a look here again, we don't have that many players right now in the reserves, which is good. I mean, most everyone that we wanted to be loaned out has been loaned out. We'll go with Brault Gallard as the other option. Although, you know what? If Gauthier gets a little bit more playtime out of that, that wouldn't be too bad. But maybe we'll just leave it as is. Let's get Arfield out of there. And I'm thinking that's pretty much what the bench is going to be. James and Wolf, Mathis on the right, Gagnon at left. We'll be taking out White, putting him there. And that's pretty much it. If White ends up getting loaned out, Arfield's there. That's the team I'm thinking of. Running Jonathan David at cam behind Cavallini and Kyle Aaron. That is a pretty deadly attack. And I am very, very intrigued to see how they can do. Again, James still my captain for this team. It looks like Clark is still the best free kick taker. Jonathan David has the really good finishing rating. Slightly higher penalties for Cavallini. We'll go with Jonathan David. And let's get Clark in on corners, although I understand, obviously, why they were on alternating sides. That is the team. Let's go ahead and look at how highly we are rated in comparison, although I am going to have to fix that because, again, they couldn't fix that this year, apparently. I'm going to move James back over there, Clark there. There we go. Perfect. Although Kyle's a righty, Cavallini's a lefty. That's fine. We'll keep him on that side. Are you good now? Is it fixed? Good, it's fixed. Let's see how we compare to other teams heading into our second season in the Bundesliga. So, this year we have Mainz up top. 4.5 stars, 78, 78, 75. That's going to be some pretty tough competition. Let's go ahead and skip actually to look at us first, just so that we get the scale. So we're at 76, 79, and 74 with a backup, or with a 77 rated keeper. So it's not too bad. So you compare us to Mainz. We have the advantage in the midfield. They have the advantage everywhere else, so it'd be a little bit surprising to see us ahead of them. We have Borussia Dortmund, who obviously beat us in every aspect. That is not surprising in the slightest. We have FC Bayern, who obviously beat us in every aspect. That is not surprising. The two biggest teams, really. That would be offensive to some people, but I mean the two highest rated teams, the two biggest teams right now, you get the point. We have Frankfurt, who have us beat in everywhere except defensive rating. It's a 1-point difference in our favor, so Frankfurt a better team as well. Then we have Hanover, who we have beaten in every single aspect. Every single rating of ours is higher than Hanover's, so at the very least we should be ahead of them. Hertha Berlin, I mean, they have us beat everywhere except goalkeeper, so that hurts a little bit. And of course, Kaiserslautern. We have Cologne, who we have beaten. It's actually, they have the slight edge. They have the edge in the attack, we have the edge in the midfield, they have the edge in defense, and a goalkeeper. Bayer Leverkusen have us beat everywhere, or beaten everywhere, which is not surprising. Divock Origi up top. Former Everton and Liverpool players side by side. That's actually a pretty sweet team. Borussia Mönchengladbach, they have us beat basically everywhere. We're tied in terms of midfield rating. RB Leipzig, they have us beat everywhere. Okay, this is getting to be a little bit depressing about our chances now. We have Schalke, who have us topped in every aspect. Freiburg, they have us beat in attack. We have them beat in the midfield. Defense is even, but we have the edge in terms of goalkeeper. That's just the second team that we've clearly been better than. Hoffenheim, better than us in every aspect. We are better than Union Berlin, though, so there is no excuse for us to be anywhere near the bottom three. Union Berlin, the weakest team in the Bundesliga. Then we have Stuttgart, who are better than us in attack, better in midfield, better in defense, not better in terms of goalkeepers. And then Wolfsburg, who are also better. Werder Bremen, also better. So it's going to be a challenge, but we were looking pretty poor heading into last year, too, and then we got off to such a hot start. So I'm still confident that this team can get the job done. Whether or not my confidence is betrayed, time will tell. We start off our second season in the Bundesliga, that new three-pronged attack up top. Let's see if they can do any damage. Kyle Larin opens his account in the 11th minute. They have a half-decent team as well. Davy Klaassen, Davy Proper, I believe, as well. As Romero picks up a yellow card, we're beyond half. I'm going to stick with this for now as Schmoloff ties it. I was going to say, can we get another goal? We're going to need to if we want to walk away with a win. Bremen's on the lower end side. Teams that we're going to need to pick up 3 points against if we want to have a high finish this year. We start off the season with a draw. Just the one goal from Kyle Larin. Not too good, not too bad. We did start off last season on a hot streak, but before that, the opening few games, there were a lot of draws. So I'm not exactly nervous just yet. That's one game down with, I mean, God, yeah, it's 34 games in a season. So we'll see. We'll see. Not a horrible start. Technically in fourth. If the season ended now, we'd be in the Champions League next year. Wouldn't that be great? Probably not. We'd get smacked unless I were to play the games. And now we get to play Bayern. Oh, God. That's lovely. In fairness, I think we did draw them at the start of the beginning of last season as well, as we'll take a look at what's going on with the Canadians. So Boosty, Cooper, and Morgan will obviously be the guys. Cohen Wilson. Actually, Cohen Wilson's our dude. He's still ours. He's just out on loan, so we'll bring him back. Left backs of Gagnon and Gutierrez, which is fine by me. Right backs of Mathis and Godinho. And center backs, Wolf, James, and Daniel Henry, who will take out for the other Wolf. Just a little bit of nepotism involved. Just a little bit. So, in terms of wingers, I mean, Clark should be able to play. It's just a red card for the next game. It should be fine. Baloo can play. And then the midfield is Piet, Kay, Osorio, and White. That works. Could honestly and will bring in Williams. And then Wilson, Beija. I think that looks good. Pretty much. I mean, again, we are going to continue to be somewhat hands-off with this team just until we see a high-stakes game and not just international friendlies. In fairness, if international friendlies mattered in terms of, working towards qualification, we would have qualified because we had dominated international friendlies for the most part ever since we took over the national team job. As we'll take a look here, players leaving on international duty will be most of our players, of course. That is the one downside. We play Bayern. A draw here would be phenomenal, but they did beat Dortmund 2-1 in the opening game of their season. Cohen Casteels between the sticks. You got Walker Peters. Javi Martinez is still there. Malinka McSav. Antoine Griezmann up top. Again, they're not even using Neuer, and I'm nervous. Their bench is insane, but we had the lead. Kyle Larin gets the opening goal of this game. Again, the only guy to score for us this season. 20 minutes left. This would be a gigantic upset. 10 minutes left. Kaiserslautern, the Canadians, have beaten Bayern Munich for the first time. They weren't running the strongest version of their team that they could have. You have Schuler, Kingsley Coman, Thomas Muller on the bench, Manuel Neuer on the bench. But a win is a win. Kyle Larin, 2 games, 2 goals, the only 2 goals scored for us this season. but it's a draw against Werder Bremen and a win against Bayern Munich. That is a very interesting start to the season. Cooper, in just his second start, shuts out Bayern Munich, a clean sheet for the 16-year-old. And that could set the stage for a very interesting season. Don't want to get my hopes up too much, but you never quite know. This could be a very fun year for us. As again, you look at the business, Cavallini, Gallard brought in for just over $20 million. I mean, I'm feeling pretty good about what we have here. Clark, of course, will be out for the next game for the Canadians, which is fine. In terms of what we're doing with Kaiserslautern, again, there's nobody out there that we can get. We're good to go. So we will sim through here. We'll see if we lose anybody on loan. I think Scott Arfield in particular is hoping that we lose White out on loan. That way he gets a little bit of playing time. But our main focus this year, winning games, having the starting 11 continue to develop, and continuing to develop the younger guys in the academy. And hopefully by this time next year, a lot of the guys that we ended up loaning out, we eventually find out just how good they are, and we see good development from them throughout the year. As we get a transfer offer from Evan White, I am not interested in selling him, only interested in loaning him out. So an unfortunate offer there. We do get another offer. It's a transfer offer for Victor Olsen. Again, not intrigued in selling him, only intrigued in loan offers. So it looks like Olsen and White will be two decent options for us off the bench this season, as the offer for White's been retracted, which is fine. We were never going to accept it. So there we go. We are through another deadline day. Let's take a look at the top offers from around the world. I went the long way around, but that is fine. Top offers at this point: Arthur to AC Milan, Adrian Rabiot to Barcelona. I don't even know who that is. Kouame, I don't think I've ever heard of him, but he goes to Valencia for $91.5 million. Isco to Spurs, Paco Alcacer to Atletico Madrid, Paqueta to Man City. Now the good thing that you're seeing here with a lot of these moves, it's not German clubs. Okay, well, I jinxed it. It's not German clubs that are improving themselves right now. There's a couple of moves here and there. And okay, again, every time I open my damn mouth. RB Leipzig sold to very... Okay, we're going to have to take another look at how we stack up to a lot of these teams, because some teams significantly weakened themselves, which is shocking to me. RB Leipzig just lost one of the top defenders in the league. So we'll continue on for a minute. We have an international friendly against Peru that we will sim through, of course, quick and easy. Boosty starting for us, which is fine. It won't be for too long after that. James and Davies with the goals. We beat the Peruvians 2-1. And the next game was against South Africa, if I'm not mistaken. But before then, let's get to the monthly scouting reports. Do we have any big-time names that will be joining us? Carson Gordson. Hell of a name. Kenneth Evans. And will those be the only two? Yes, they will, but decent additions overall. So, very happy to see that. Let's get a quick training session in and sim this game against South Africa. Let's wait to do that training session because everyone's on international duty and I still have 7 days. That'll be the better way to handle it. Let's sim this game. Oh, God, it's okay. Has the red card. Bam, bam. Just auto-change it. Let's see what we can do against South Africa. Should be another win for us, and it is. 5-0. Over the South Africans. Again, if international friendlies mattered towards qualification, we would have steamrolled our way to the World Cup. No doubt about it. As we, oh my God, the menu lag right now. It's killing me. It's killing me. Let's sim to our next game against Borussia Mönchengladbach. We'll get that training session off after it. And then we'll call it an episode for today. So highlighted for sure by the Cavallini edition and the massive victory over Borussia Mönchengladbach. But we'll see here. I'm going to leave the main team the same, even if there's a bit of fatigue. We play Gladbach on a Friday. Let's see what we can do. Jan Sommer still in the team. I think that's Mark Bartram. Andrikar James picks up a slight injury. They have Lookman up top as well. Mapai. Mapai with the goal, and they make it 2 before the half. It would take one hell of an effort to dig ourselves out of this hole, and I don't think... I mean, in theory, I'd like to think we have what it takes to do that, but it's not looking like it. They make it 3, and maybe there goes a little bit of the optimism down the drain, as James is going to be out for 3 days. I read that as 3 weeks initially. That would have been a disaster. But, really? Did it reset my freaking training session? Garbage? That's okay. Maybe, just maybe, though, in terms of the current formation, we look to change things up. At the end of the day, we have only had one man score goals for us thus far this season, which is incredibly concerning. So maybe getting Jonathan David back up top's the way to go. Let Cavallini and... God, who's the other striker? I know his name. I didn't forget you, Olsen. There you are. Good old Victor. I don't want Victor Olsen and Cavallini both on the bench. So we want to go with a 2-striker set. David's really the only guy who can kind of run cam, but it hasn't worked thus far. So let me know what you think. I mean, obviously not exactly the ideal start to a season here, but we still have more than enough time to turn it around, as Ethan Wolf has already lost the promising player tag, which sucks. So training up the other Wolf might not be the worst idea, although getting George Clark to an 82 also isn't the worst idea. Again, low stamina for him, which sucks. Let's see. I mean, getting the vision up for him would be nice. Try to get the stamina up there. It's the one thing for someone like him. Just trying to get the stamina up there is always a little bit of a challenge. So let me know what you think. Again, we have options, but running Jonathan David at cam might be the best way to go. As it is, Olsen right now being the main option off the bench isn't the worst way, but we're not exactly scoring goals right now with this formation. We could go with a little bit of a custom setup if we really wanted to. It would be fairly ridiculous. Technically, we're not even allowed. No, we are allowed to bump him up to center forward. I mean, you know, we could do something ridiculous like this. We could go to a 3 center back formation and bump Mathis out of the mix and go with Gagnon, James, and Wolf. Might not be the best way to go, but we have options. It's just a matter of what is the best way to try and get this team scoring, because thus far, it hasn't happened. So in the next episode, we will be simming a lot of this season. We'll see if we can finally have success in the DFB Pokal. We have always been bounced in the first round, and from the looks of it, still nothing but international friendlies for the Canadians. So very intrigued to see what we can do this season. And at the end of the year, we have some tough matchups. So hopefully it's not a similar situation as to where we don't have to rely on end-of-season heroics to get the job done, because that is walking a very precarious tightrope. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you very much for watching this series and for supporting it. It's going nowhere anytime soon. Well, then again, I mean, FIFA 20, I suppose, is on the horizon. But you know what? Still, having fun with this. I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, goodbye. Look at that guy's frosted tips.